This video is setting up your one color design to print on paper. Now that we have our design made, we have our image traced and your text created if that's what you were going to do. This is an 11 by 17 tabloid document. Make certain you have tabloid document. At this point, I have everything traced. I'm ready to go to make it look like I want it to look on the t-shirt. I'm going to print red ink on a gray t-shirt. So what I want to do is I'm going to take the shape tool, the rectangle tool, and I am going to fill. I'm going to make a rectangle the same size as my 11 by 17 document. And I want to fill it gray because as I said, I want a gray shirt. Now, just like our Motion K, this is now covering everything. Open your layers palette and grab it and drag it to the bottom. So now we have our image the way we want it to look on the t-shirt. I want red ink on a gray t-shirt. I am going to take my selection tool, I'm going to select everything. I'm going to click and drag, add Alt, and I'm going to let go and drag it over here to the side. Now, with all of this selected, I'm going to group it. Now that is all in one group. Now I'm going to lock that group. The only purpose for this image is to show what we want our t-shirt to look like. That is the only purpose for that image. If I was going to do it on a black t-shirt, I would have just made this shape black. If I was going to do it on a white t-shirt, I would have made it white. But I would have also copied it over here. Copied this over to here to make it a white image. Okay. Again, the layers, it's above the other layer. If I wanted it black, I would have made that shape black. If I wanted a red t-shirt with different color ink, you make whatever the square, whatever color your t-shirt is, and you make your other image, your ink, whatever color the ink you want. Now, from here, I can delete this square because I no longer need it. So we are only going to be manipulating what is on our artboard, which is this white space. This is what the image looks like, what we want it to look like on the t-shirt. This will not print. The only thing that will print is what touches our artboard. Now, step 1, make sure it's black. Even though I'm using red ink, I still turn this black. This has to be black. I'm going to move it down just a little bit. We want to imagine this piece of paper is our t-shirt. So we're going to make our t-shirt, our image be on the chest of our t-shirt. So we want to kind of make the image be on the chest of the piece of paper. From here we're going to hit Control R. Now, those numbers are not what I'm looking for. Right click on that ruler, which is what Control R brought up, inches. So now I have a ruler in inches. We need to find the center of this paper vertically. So, half of 11 is 5.5. Right click, make sure the guides are locked. So if it says unlock guides, you're good to go. Make sure your guides are locked. That is the center of the paper. Now I can select all of my image. I already made sure that this was in the center. I made sure that this was centered and this is not centered, but I have it visually centered. Because if I center this mathematically, it looks like it's farther over here than it does over here. So I want to kind of make it look a little bit left so it looks like it's actually centered, even though it's mathematically not centered. This one is centered. These little white boxes show the center point, center point, center. And then if I select everything together, you can see that it is centered. I need to make registration marks. A registration mark is going to help us line up our film, this paper, on our screen to expose our screen, and then it will help our screen line up on our palette, and then it will help our colors line up with other colors. So I take the ellipse tool, right above my image, I click on there and on the guide, I click, I hold Alt and Shift. I want it to be a perfect circle, and I want it to be approximately 1/4 of an inch, 0.25. Let go. Now, I do not want it to be filled black. I want it to be stroked black. So I have my circle. Now I need 2 lines. I need a vertical line and a horizontal line. Take the line segment tool. I cannot click on the center point. I will end up moving the circle. So I have to hold Control, deselect it. I just hold Control and click off on the white space. Go back. I have my line segment tool already selected. Go back to the center point, click on the center point, Alt and Shift. Alt makes it expand from the center both sides. Shift makes it a straight line. Again, I hold Control, I click off. Find that intersection, I hold Alt and Shift. I let go. At this point I can go back to my selection tool. I need to make another one down here on the bottom. But first, I selected all 3 pieces. Right click, group. Now in my layers palette, I grouped that and you can see that registration mark. As I said, I need one more below it. I click and start dragging. I hold Alt. I also hold Shift. You want it to be down here just a little bit. Now I have my 2 registration marks. The next thing I want to add to this is a identification tag. So, doesn't matter the font, typically just a plain font is fine. I am going to write my name. What happens is sometimes we have multiple people creating the same image and somebody uses somebody else's screen. You can put that close to the registration mark just so we know whose screen this is. Close to the registration mark. Do not make it big. This will not go on your t-shirt. All this is going to do, we will tape this off so that way when we make our screen, you'll be able to see whose screen it is. At this point, we are ready to print to the plate maker to have it checked off. File, Print. Make sure that you select the 1184 plate maker. It should look just like this. Hit Print. Once you have it printed, check it off by me, and then I will show you how to print film.